Welcome to Advanced Tactics by Unadvanced People.
Advanced Tactics with your host, Chris.
Hey.
So today's video is on blocking, as in using models to block other models. So take it away, Chris.
Yeah, so this is an interesting topic. Sometimes it's hard to pull off, sometimes it's easy, and there's different reasons when and why you should do it. It's not something that you're going to do every game, that you're going to do every turn. Some armies will. So one of the problems is, Demon players got to play a Knight Titan, and we're playing objectives. And there's an objective here at the end of the game. And if that Knight takes that objective, he wins. If I have that objective, I win. So I can do things like, if I put a unit on that objective, all that Knight Titan's going to do is move in, charge me, and then he's going to be on the objective. Either way, he's contesting it. A lot of Knights are obsec, so he could be controlling that objective. So in my turn prior to that, I'm going to want to do what's called block him. So if you don't have enough units to do this, you can't do it. So I may go and say, okay, so I'm just going to say, Kairos, he drops on that objective. I don't want that guy killing him, getting Warlord. Kairos can take a battle cannon, but he can't take a combat from a Knight. So what I would do is Screamers can move up to 24 inches. You can do it with Eldar jet bikes as well. What I would do is I would move these guys up, and I would block this guy. So I have to be an inch away. I have a 2-inch template here. And so 2-inch templates really help you with this. And so if I do this with my Screamers, so they can move 12 and turbo boost, I can go like that.
Yeah.
And now, that Knight Titan actually can't rotate and can't move. So yes, he's going to kill my Screamer. So his movement phase goes, he can't move. Okay, so he's going to shoot me, or he's going to shoot Kairos with something. Okay, whatever, takes a wound, I don't care. And then he charges my unit and kills them. And then Massacre moves, but he's still out of range of that objective. So I've just won the game by throwing away a unit. Now the reason is, this thing's kind of interesting too, is because I've curled around the edges of him, he can't even rotate. So he can't even move, like at all. He can't even go, he can't even go backwards because I'm around the corners.
Yep.
So he's literally stuck there. So I could have a unit on an objective here, I could have an objective back there with the unit on it, and I've just shut him down for turn 5.
Yep.
So that's kind of interesting. So that's what blocking would be.
And
now,
just a note, like even if you don't wrap him, if you just make a line across him, he's not going to be able to go around you all the way like that successfully if you have a long enough line, or if there's impassable terrain or whatever.
Or even like, let's say he's further back.
Yeah.
So he's not that close. So
Yeah.
it would be like a long shot for him to get in.
Yeah.
Just by putting a unit in front.
Yeah.
He has to now move around, which makes it impossible for him to get it in. You don't need to fully block him in.
Yeah.
And so this is huge with demons who can't really kill knights. It allows me to hold objectives. And then I could use this unit back here on this objective. And he'll kill that unit, and then I'll do it again. So if that turn 5 moves on to turn 6, I can do it again.
Yep.
And again.
Okay.
Now one thing is, let's say you have a flying gargantuan creature. Well, you can't block him because he's just going to fly over you and charge, and he's going to contest that objective. So what you would want to do is block him from completely getting to the objective, which would be spread your guys out 3 or 4 inches in front, and don't give him a place to land.
Yeah.
Now, if he kills your unit and overruns in, it doesn't matter. He's going to get the objective. Now, one thing too you could do is this Wraith Knight's there, and you're like, Kairos cast Shrouding, so he's not really scared. If the guy rolls a 6, you die, but another way to block is you could, because he flies, is you can surround your unit with screamers, and then this guy cannot charge Kairos. Now he can shoot the screamers, but they got shrouding. They have a 2+ cover. You're probably not going to lose any. He charges in, kills the screamers, but Kairos is still alive. If he's on the ground, which he shouldn't be, but it is what it is, right?
Yep. So people sometimes you might hear that called bubble wrapping, and there's lots of different uses
Blocking,
of bubble wrapping. But that's another way of blocking or preventing access to certain units or places on the board.
One thing too is, so if you have like a Night Titan squaring off against a, sorry about that. If you have a Night Titan squaring off against like a Wraith Knight, and the Night Titan player doesn't want to get into combat, he can do the same thing, you know, just bubble wrap himself with a scout unit and force the Wraith Knight to go through the scouts first. That way you could have an additional turn to kill the Wraith Knight.
Yeah.
Now usually, if depending on the weapons load, a Night Titan with a D close combat weapon could beat a Wraith Knight in combat, but
for whatever reason, if you don't want to get into that.
Let's say this guy's OBSEC, there's an objective there. It's turn 4. He's on an objective. We have 2 OBSEC units. He comes in. Now one thing you do have to watch out for is when you block is this guy comes in. I could have 3 jet bike units shoot and kill all these scouts.
Yeah.
And then he could charge through anyway. So it's a lot harder to block things that fly, but it's still definitely doable.
Yep.
Now another big thing too is just blocking off objectives. So if I have like an objective, as I said, right there, and I go like this, I could put this guy forward and I could essentially wrap the objective. And as long as I'm 3 inches away and I wrap it, then this guy cannot land in there and he has to stay away. And so he would have to engage you in combat to get the objective, which could be risky, could be not. If you're more than 3, you'll have to take that chance, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's basically blocking in a nutshell. You can also do things like if people have Death Stars, like a big unit of Wolf Stars, you can just put like a unit of 50 guardsmen in a straight line. Say, come into me with your Death Star. He comes in, and they just stop it, and all your squishy stuff has 1 more turn to shoot. Tal can do it with Kroot. They take like 30 Kroot, and they just ring them around all of their suits, and it buys you that extra turn. So the guy moves up, shoots your Kroot or whatever. They're usually in cover, or they go to ground. And then he charges the Kroot. It gives your Tal that extra turn to shoot, and that's very important.
Okay. How about using models to either block access, like coming in from reserve, or like blowing up transports and stuff and stopping people getting out? And are you able to do that?
Yeah, you're playing bikes. So this Ravenwing guy's outflanking his bikes. If I was to basically line the board edge, so these guys, turn 1, can move 12, turbo boost 24. So it's not unrealistic.
If you have enough screamers.
Which is getting very common, for the 27 screamer list to block off one side of the board.
Yeah.
And so if I continue with this line all the way down, and your bikes happen to roll this side to come in,
yeah, you're screwed.
They die.
Yep.
Now they'll all have to come on that side. But knowing that, so if I know that, you know to play against me, and I line this board edge, I put my flamer star or something that's nasty right here.
Yeah.
Because I know that you're coming on this board edge or you're dying.
Yeah.
So there is that aspect as well. You can block things, be creative. One of the big things I recommend is a lot of people look at units and they go, wow, to these guys they look, wow, they're spread out. They're actually not spread out. That's 2 inches. So a lot of people watching this, that is 2 inches. That looks ridiculously far to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I recommend getting a 2-inch template. This is actually an Age of Sigmar combat gauge. It's got your 3 inches, your 2-inch, and your 1-inch. But I find this invaluable in 40k because now look at that, 5 scouts. Now they're going to get shot and killed, whatever. But if you don't have a lot of shooting, I could use 5 scouts, and I could even block them this way. So I could use 10 scouts to bubble wrap.
Yep.
2 units of 5. And so that's actually too far. But you know what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah,
here.
I mean the principle is that 2 inches is actually a long distance, longer than you think. I mean these guys look way outside of 2 inches, but that's 2 inches. So
it's also, so you have a Night Titan here. Like one bike unit using the 2-inch coherency can definitely... So let's say I've played a lot of knight players. They'll put a knight on the board edge. And let's say they have 3 knights, and I have 3 units of Eldar jet bikes. And I'm like, well, I don't want those guys moving towards me. I want to keep you back even one turn, so that turn 1 you're here, turn 2 you're there, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 you're in my zone. So it gives me an extra few turns to kill you. Well, if I want to do that with screamers or jet bikes, if you're back on the board edge, I could literally just do this, and 3 models can block a Night Titan from moving.
Yep.
Because let's put it this way. If he tries to go sideways, he's within an inch. If he tries to go sideways this way, he's in an inch.
Yep.
He actually can't move.
And you can't go off the edge, so...
So he's stuck.
Yep.
And that's a big deal. So now you're stuck. I've thrown away 3 Screamer units, which is what I normally do. My Screamers of Tzeentch. I've thrown away 3 Screamer units to keep your Night Titans out of the game a turn.
Yep. Okay, thanks for that, Chris. So that was blocking in a nutshell. Stay tuned for more tactics videos.